All right, welcome everybody. This is Cash and Tickets brought to you by Poolside Bets. Poolside Bets are me, Franklin Johnson. That's Paul Robertson over to my left.
Yep.
And we are back after our adventurous bracket building. If you watched the show, you saw that we didn't have any video except for the bracket. But that's all you need to see. You didn't need to see our ugly mugs. So we talked about it. We built the bracket, and it was not good at all. I'm looking at it now. It's bad. I mean, I don't know how many people have great brackets. At least some people have their champions. Obviously, we don't. Kansas is out. Paul, Kansas is out.
The betting was worse than that bracket.
Yeah, the weekend. We had a great weekend there at the Horseshoe and Gold Strike in Robinsonville, but it
No good.
was a fun weekend. But the betting part wasn't very good. Craps table was much better than the
You know,
than
you,
the
you know,
betting.
you know, you're doing something right on a craps table when they're yelling at you and threatening you.
Oh, when they want to send you out and make you change the way you throw the dice, yeah, you're doing it well. You're
Yeah,
doing it right.
Something's
That's
going
right.
good.
That's right. So again, that's a little recap of last show. Just we built the bracket. It's bad. We know it, and that's okay. We're gonna move forward from that. So welcome in again, Cash and Tickets. It's March the 24th. Uh, Threw a little pick out there last night on the Twitter with money line of Gonzaga and Tennessee. Obviously, Tennessee lost, but we're back here today. We'll talk about the games tonight, and the biggest part of today is talking about some horse racing going on tomorrow. You know how much we love the horses. So we'll just dive in, Paul. Can Gonzaga and UCLA get together in the tournament every year? Can they just do that for me?
Sure.
Did you see the game?
No.
Another classic. I mean, it comes down to Gonzaga had a 2 point lead with 18 seconds to go.
Oh, nice.
UCLA comes down and hits a dagger three from the top. They go up
Yeah.
one with
Yeah.
8 seconds to go, I believe.
No.
Gonzaga goes down the court and the guy pulls another Jalen Suggs. He pulls from 8 feet behind the front 3 point, just dead center of the court, just jacks it and hit nothing but nylon, just right through there. Gonzaga back up to like a second to go, and then they get a steal in the last possession.
I watched the Kansas State Michigan State game. It was incredible too, but I was sleeping.
Oh,
During
that was a great game. Yeah, that was a good
The
game.
Gonzaga game, I didn't. I've started a new venture in my life, and it is
Yeah, new occupation.
It is.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
great.
I'm not used to the.
Now they're making you work. Isn't that crazy? That's ridiculous.
I've gone back to the grind, as they say, and it's yeah.
Don't let the man get you down, Paul.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. We gotta manage our sleep better.
So maybe the hottest team in the tournament, a team that's playing, they've had 3 consecutive blowouts, is the UConn Huskies. They're playing well at both ends of the floor.
Man, damn
big
Hurleys.
The big men are getting it done down low. They can put the main thing. The guards are playing well. They protect the ball well. They're just doing everything. They're probably the hottest and most complete team in the tournament right now. The UConn Huskies. They put an absolute beat down on the Arkansas Razorbacks last night.
2-point favorite against the Zags.
Yeah, it makes sense. I would make UConn the favorite there from what I've seen. Gonzaga has got a decent, easy win over Grand Canyon. They kind of TCU hung around with them for a long time. Of course, it came down to last second bucket last night with UCLA. Great game, like you mentioned, by K-State, Michigan State. Just two teams battling it out down the stretch in the fourth quarter. It was fantastic.
I didn't
Not
think-
fourth quarter, but second half.
I didn't think Tom Izzo just had it in him, but he's got to be on the Mount Rushmore of college coaches. I don't care what anybody says.
Can't you say he's probably the greatest tournament coach we've ever seen?
He's good.
I mean, when he gets to the tournament, I don't know of any coach you'd want.
Yeah, he's good. I don't know what he says or what their Flintstone vitamins bottles are made of, but he gets it done. That's for sure. And they had the tragedy this year. They had all the stuff working against them.
That's right.
They locked in, got it going. That's great year, but
Yeah, I mean, a
incredible.
team I didn't see getting out of the first round.
No,
And then and here we go. I mean, in
Yep.
Sweet 16 and really gave Kansas State all they wanted. You talk about somebody's making money. That is Dusty May down there at Florida Atlantic and Boca Raton. That guy is making all the money right now. Great win, and they did exactly what you have to do against Tennessee. They never let Tennessee completely bully them to where they got behind double digits. And that's what Tennessee will do. They suffocate you defensively, and you can't put the ball in the basket, and they make some, and they get a big lead.
They suffocate you.
There was an L in there. It's wasn't supposed to be there. I don't know what happened there.
Oh, no, it's all good. Yeah, I was like you. I mean, we talked about that game earlier, and I didn't see Florida Atlantic being able to handle that pressure from Tennessee's defense. No. And early on, it looked like it was going to go that way. But, I ain't going to lie. I got up this morning. I was like, holy shit.
Well, like I said, they did exactly what you have to do. They kept it close enough because at some point Tennessee's going to have a lull offensively.
Just clanking them off their...
Yeah. And as soon as they did, I think it was like the 12-minute mark. I mean, here come Florida Atlantic, and they got it done.
You talk about clanking. You see that Arkansas team last night?
Boy, they couldn't. Ooh. Did they even know how tall it was? The bucket not the same size?
They couldn't dribble.
Forget shooting. They just couldn't dribble.
Get it down there to get it in the air. It was terrible.
Well, that was my concern with Arkansas coming into the tournament. I didn't have them getting out of the first round. Just I thought they were too inconsistent with guard play.
They're young.
They got it together for 2 games. They take down Kansas, and then UConn says not today.
Oh, they had me believing yesterday. I was like, Arkansas going to go beat UConn, and man, that summit wasn't even close.
No. So you had 3 really compelling games, and then you had the one blowout there. Great win by Florida Atlantic Owls again. Dusty May and the Owls they're up against it again with Kansas State. But you want to talk about a feel-good story. Did you – and I knew this going into the tournament, and I didn't mention it, but do you remember the guy that – I think he passed out on the court during the game. He played for Florida when Mike White was the coach there a few years back. And Mike White had kind of built his recruiting that year around Keontae Johnson. He had the heart condition. He passed out on the floor.
The name sounds familiar. Yeah.
Well, he was away from basketball for about at least almost 2 years. Well, he's now one of the stars for Kansas State, and it's great to see that kid come back from what looked like maybe a career-ending deal, and now he's back playing high-level basketball for a team that's going now, and it's now in the Elite Eight. Yeah. So, congratulations to Keontae Johnson. That's a good story for the tournament. Of course, they're going to focus on that and not talk about Brandon Miller over at Alabama, because that's not something you want
to frowned upon.
Yeah, I don't think they've even mentioned it the entire tournament, even though it's a big storyline for Alabama.
There may be legal issues pending, and they want to be tied up in that.
They got they have opinions. They got opinions on every damn thing else. Whatever. Stick to I guess it's the code or the brand or whatever.
Don't piss Saban off.
He's already pissed off. He's shot across the bow to Nate Oates.
There's enough money to go around. It's okay.
Yeah, he did.
Why are they mad? What they mad about?
Well, because they had a kid that they had a kid on the football team that just got arrested because he was driving 140 miles an hour and he had 8 ounces of weed. He had what would be.
I'm more fucked up about the fucking speeding than I am the weed.
But it was a ton of. It was more than. It was a ton of weed. A ton of weed. Think about 8 footballs of weed.
Toting bricks. Baby.
Yeah, but it was still under the limit for trafficking. Selling or whatever. What do you got going? I'm distracted. What in the hell is going on your screen right there?
I don't know. It's the Jeff Ruby Steaks.
Anyway, yeah. So, and then Saban said something about it's not about being at the wrong place at the wrong time. That's what Nate Oates said about Brandon Miller. So that was, yeah. Anyway. So tonight,
sounds like they need to the NIL deal in Alabama is getting a little squirrely. Them boys having to run drugs to make ends meet.
What the
That's
hell's
bullshit.
going on? And he's probably driving a Dodge Charger that all the football players get when they go to Alabama, right? Don't they all? No, that's what it was 5-6 years ago. They were all getting Dodge Chargers,
whatever they want a week now. Anyways,
So we'll move to tonight's game. Speaking of Alabama, they get it kicked off. First game of the night. San Diego State takes on the Alabama Crimson Tide. I don't have much on the spread there because Alabama, if they start making shots, they can absolutely run away from you and hide. But if they're not shooting the three well, it could be a close game. What I do love is the over-under, 137.5, because San Diego State can shoot it as well. So I like the 137.5 with San Diego State and Alabama.
I'll just briefly go over something that I look at Sportsline or what, and there's a ton of opinion on this game for some reason, and most of it's over 137 and plus 7.5 on San Diego State.
So they like the points. So.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like I said, I haven't had time to really dive in. I know I should have done this pre-flop, but I didn't.
Well, it makes sense because early, outside of the first maybe 25 games that Alabama played, they've been really inconsistent with their outside shooting. They can shoot it on any given night. They can really fill it up, but it's been inconsistent. So they're probably thinking, and when Alabama doesn't shoot it well, they still win. They just don't, they don't blow you out because they have defensive issues, if you will. Brandon Miller may be the best college basketball player out there, but he can't play defense. So, yeah, he's a liability on that end of the floor.
He's a good friend, though.
I
don't have nothing else, but I got the jokes.
You got that. Thanks.
Yeah, no.
We'll come pick you up when you need a ride.
Yeah, well, we got you, man. Just looking at this game briefly, I don't know. At some point, talent wins out, and I get it. But Alabama's the most consistent team in the country to me. So give me Bama. I don't like the 7.5 though. I don't hate your over.
I mean, I don't know what the money line is. It's probably not.
It's probably up there at minus 7.5. What would it be?
300.
Probably so.
Minus 350. I think San Diego State's plus 250.
Probably so.
Weren't you just on Sportsline?
It didn't have it.
Oh, no money line yet? Mm-mm. That's weird.
325.
Okay, yeah. So
that's not bad. It's up to 350. So if you can get it at 350 on BetMGM. Caesar's got it at 325. So we bet Caesar, so that's where we get it. You parlay that in with something you like later.
The over under.
Get it with something minus 110 or something, and get your even money, and
that's right.
You're off and running.
So the next game that gets tipped off, that's going to be the Miami Hurricanes, who have had a good tournament, taking on the Houston Cougars, who now have a seemingly healthy Sasser, and that makes them very dangerous. And they've played well in the tournament. They had a big beatdown of Auburn. They took care of Northern Kentucky pretty easily. Miami also has not struggled. Drake kept it close for a while. We liked Drake there, but Drake could not score like they typically score. And they held Miami to 63, but they could only get 56 themselves. And then Miami destroyed Indiana. So here we are, Houston and Miami. Miami can really fill it up, Paul, but that Houston defense, that's a thing of beauty, man. I mean, they play as well as a team. They play as well as a team than anybody in the country right now.
Yeah, I just going over things here. Is some reason they love the over in this game, and I don't.
It's at 139 with that Houston defense. I know Miami can score, but
you know what it is? It's the whole thing to where it's. You look at it and you go, it's Houston, it's Miami. Both teams play pretty good defense. There's no way this thing gets over.
And then they both just score.
It's 94-92, and then triple overtime.
So that's what we got here.
That's what I'm thinking they're going by. I don't think they have any sound logic to it.
We got a grade of A on the over.
Yeah, it's 68% of the simulations on Sportsline have it at over 139. So that's
what's their projected score?
78-67.
Oh, so Houston. Basically a blowout like
Houston. 145, yeah.
Can you see Houston scoring 78 points? Miami's defense must not be. I mean, Miami can score, but
they scored 80 a couple times.
Yeah, they put 80 on Auburn, didn't they?
Yeah.
Believe that. Yeah, 81 on Auburn.
So
They only scored 63 against Northern Kentucky. But they play super slow. Northern Kentucky plays slow, and Houston can play slow, fast, however you want to play.
I don't know that both teams can't get in the 70s, so I don't really dislike that over. I mean, I get it.
I get it because as I thought about it, Miami wants to get up and down the court. Well, Houston can play that game too.
Yeah, they may just run.
So they may just run with them and just rely on their fundamental defense to get the stops when they need to, and then run away at the end.
If it's still 139 when you see it, I don't hate it. But if it starts creeping over 140 plus, then you might want to use it as a teaser or something.
Yep. So that we get to the next two games, and if you want to watch aesthetically pleasing basketball, watch these two games. And I'm not kidding. When you watch Princeton play basketball, the way that they move it, the way that they hit their cuts,
They like to move it.
just the way that they move the basketball, they take care of, and that's what they've done. They've been just fundamentally sound taking care of the basketball in their last two games. And Missouri made all the mistakes. Missouri likes to run and get out. Princeton said, okay, we can run at a pace, but we're not going to turn it over. And when you miss shots, we're going to come down, we're going to hit shots. And it was an impressive win by Princeton over Missouri. But now they get the Creighton Blue Jays, who I love still in the tournament here. I don't think Princeton's got enough firepower to take down Creighton.
Do you have that lineup?
It's 10. It's a big line.
So this year, Princeton at +8 to +12 on the year, they're 7-1.
I believe it because they can score. They don't turn the ball over. That's the thing. They handle it so well.
Creighton's really good though,
and their offense is fun to watch. But Creighton's can score too. What's the over under in that? It's 141.
45.
And then speaking of a team that's also fun to watch, the way that they move the basketball, they can play defense. They've got everything you need. They got big guys. They got guards that can play. That's Xavier, but maybe taking on a juggernaut here in the Texas Longhorns, who have run through the Big 12 tournament. They've come in the big tournament, and they've been ready to go from the jump.
Excuse my mama, I'm sorry, but fuck Xavier.
Well, I know you still have things aren't going great between you and the Musketeers.
Not a fan. I don't like them. I don't even know what state they're in at this point. My brain's so mad.
It was one game, Paul. It was one game.
Have you seen my whiteboard in there? It's still got shit from 4 years ago on it.
So
I still have COVID-19 on my.
So when it comes to betting, we hold grudges like women. Is that what you're saying?
Lord. Yeah. Anyways, that Xavier team can go eat a bag.
I don't think they can beat Texas. I think Texas is too tough for them. I love the brand of basketball they play. I love the brand of basketball that Princeton plays. They've been fun to watch. I just don't think either team has enough for the two teams that they're going. I don't like that 10. I'm not taking Creighton -10. I don't think I'd do that at all.
Oh no! If my ticket includes Princeton, I'm gonna run a teaser with the over.
Move them up, yeah.
Go up and then take the over
down
in the first game, the one that we thought the Houston game, and then go maybe Bama down to 1.
No, I would take the Bama over/under down to 133. That would be my play.
So that 3 team gets you +180.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what +180, that's just short of 2 to 1 odds, which is.
So you bet $100, you win 180.
Yeah, 180. They get $280 back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm.
And that Texas Xavier game, Xavier can get hot. That line is 4.5. The over/under is 148. I don't like anything about either one of those numbers.
No.
I mean, honestly, if Xavier gets hot from deep, they could keep that thing. Thing could get late, get late early. I mean, so I don't know. Yeah.
Dynamite. Let me look at something real quick. I'm just gonna meander around here.
I don't hate a little 4-point teaser with the honestly taking the over in the first 3 games, teasing the over down in the first 3 games, and maybe taking Princeton up to plus 14.
You can take Alabama on the money line with Texas on the money line and get minus 102, which is basically even money at a two-teamer. You're not going to get any better than that.
No, because that Creighton money line is too high. You'd have to get 2 more plays in there.
No, I mean you can go find you something in the NBA or women's basketball or
Houston's probably about the same, right? Minus 325, I'd imagine they're in there.
It's 350 on there, but you probably find it
Okay.
cheaper than that. You add that in, you're at plus 154, which is just shy of the teaser we're talking about.
Well, everybody knows where we're from, and I think when I lean back, you can see the emblem there. So the Lady Rebels play tonight, Paul. 2 big wins. They took down number 1 Stanford. The last time they played, which I think was Monday night. Now they get the Louisville Cardinal, and they are not playing at any. That was actually at Stanford. They play the first 2 rounds at the better seeds home court in the women's basketball.
Why were the announcers so salty about that?
Because one of the girls calling it went to Stanford. Played for Stanford, I think.
Yeah, that's like having me and you call an Ole Miss football game.
We're gonna be salty,
and we're gonna be ugly, and it's gonna be offensive, and
absolutely. And what's funny is I think that's when Ole Miss beat Stanford. That was maybe the second time since they went to this home court stuff, and that a 1 seed has gone down, or a better seed is even lost.
That was not a fluke.
I mean, and this is the reason they're thinking about maybe getting. But the problem is going to neutral sites in the women's game is that you just don't get enough people there. I mean, that's the problem.
You don't generate the money for the season.
Yeah, so I get why they do it the first 2 rounds, doing home courts at the better seed, because you're going to get a better viewing experience. You're going to get more people in the stadium. So I get it. In the arena, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Coliseum.
I mean, it's what you talk about aesthetically pleasing. Ole Miss women's basketball is not aesthetically pleasing. But it is grit, and it's almost like the Memphis Grizzlies of
grit and grind. Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
If you like that type of basketball, that's what. And here's the thing: Louisville plays the same game.
There will be nothing easy going on this evening.
No, you better be able to make a tough shot down low. And I don't know if Louisville has the big down low like Stanford had. That girl Brink, we could. I mean, the only time we scored well down low was when she was out of the game. I don't know. I watched the third and fourth quarter of that game. Every time she was in there, I swear to God, every trip down the court, it was a block shot. I mean, we could not. A Baker could not get to the rim at all.
No.
Now, Louisville, even though they play the same style, they beat the hell out of Texas Longhorns. They scored 70-something points, so that's a little scary. But both of them they're going to be in a neutral sort. Seattle, why? You got the Ole Miss Rebels from Oxford, Mississippi, the Louisville Cardinal from Kentucky, and they're both going to be in Seattle. What?
Good for the players to get to go see what Seattle looks like.
I mean, what, you going to go see the Needle? I mean, I don't. Whatever. But anyway, 9:00 tonight is the tip for that game. So I'm sure we'll be following along. I don't know that the baseball team's going to play, Paul, because we got weather coming in at 5:00.
I could give 2 rats.
I know you couldn't. I'm just saying. I don't know if the baseball. I don't know if the weather's going to be over there.
I throw darts. I do. I take my shots when I can.
I understood.
Don't have much in life.
Understood. So that's the basketball. That's what we got going on right now. Hey, I want to bring up something that we don't, because we're going to have to try to talk about it as we move into the dog days of summer.
Mm-mm.
But baseball's getting closer. I think they get started 1st of April, or usually 1st of April, maybe
March 30th.
March 30th. They're gonna. So this coming up week, the Major League Baseball season is going to get started. The World Baseball Classic was incredible.
Oh, yeah, it was really good.
If you like baseball at all, you tuned in, and they could not have Hollywood scripted that gold medal game better. And I'm going to tell you right now that Shohei Ohtani is going to go down as one of the greatest baseball players to ever play the game. I'm not telling you he's better than Babe Ruth or Mickey Mantle or even Mike Trout at this point, even though he struck out Trout. But oh my goodness, that game was from start to finish. I watched it. That game was incredible. It had everything you wanted, and to see the talent. A lot of those players from Japan, you don't even see them because they don't play Major League Baseball. But that just shows the talent that they have, and it shows the passion that the Japanese have for the game of baseball. They absolutely and Shohei Ohtani to do what he does. I mean, to be able to hit the ball as far as he can hit it. He runs well, and he was throwing 100. He comes in, he throws one pitch 100 against Trout, and then are you kidding me? At 3-2, he throws an 87-mile-an-hour slider that nobody's gonna touch. I don't care who you are, Trout, Bryce Harper, Mickey Mantle. I mean, you bring up Tony Gwynn's not touching that pitch.
Yeah, I like Otani's. I'd seen it earlier. I forgot. I did look it back up, but it's his pregame speech he made to his teammates. You see that?
I didn't.
Talking about don't admire them. He said if you admire them, you can't surpass them.
Can't get yeah.
But you could see him in Japan, doing the. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I mean,
They did good.
It was awesome. I hope maybe one time they can move that thing like middle of the baseball season, but I know that'd be logistically that would be tough and the time off for other teams and other players and everything. But man, it was a great little tournament there. The World Baseball Classic was fantastic. It was good for baseball. They needed it. They needed something. They needed that ending. I mean, because that's what you want to see, man. You don't want to see 16-15. You want to see Shohei and dude, I know he's going to play this year with the Angels, and I know baseball can't force him to go anywhere. The Major League Baseball needs some teams either in the middle of the country or on the East Coast to go get this guy.
Yeah.
It's being stuck on the West Coast. You can't, who's staying up that late to watch? I mean, I guess if you're the casual fan is what I'm getting at. The casual fan won't stay up that late to watch him play.
Right.
The diehard fans will stay up late because they know they're watching greatness.
Right.
But you want the casual fan watching this guy. You need him, Chicago, Boston, New York. I mean, you don't want him in L.A. because it's, what's the difference? I mean, you don't want him on the Dodgers. And it's not because they'll become a juggernaut. It's just you can't see him play. They play too late.
Briefly on college base. I mean not college base. Well, college baseball's rolling off too, but MLB right now you can get future odds and stuff like that. But I think we talked about this earlier. The Nerfy bet. It's the no run first inning bet. I did a lot last year and it's fun. It did well.
It was quick and it's over.
And you throw it in a parlay and you're 1-0 and you're done with it. You're one leg down at 3:00 in the afternoon. I'm telling you, I don't know if Vegas will catch up to what happened last year, but they moved the juice around, it wasn't enough.
The biggest thing was the juice was not high, even on a day when you had like Jacob deGrom going against Max Scherzer. And you could still get it at minus 125. That should have been minus
anything under
180.
Yeah. Anything under 200 to throw in a parlay is gold.
Absolutely.
I mean, you're good.
Yeah. I mean, I was doing single Nerfies when anything under minus 130. Yeah. I mean, why not? You're only risking $25.
Yeah, and just to be clear, that all that is all you need is 6 outs.
6 outs, no runs.
6 outs, no runs. You're good.
Yeah, so when you get that pitching matchup, you get DeGrom and Scherzer, or any of your aces. You get your two number ones going in the first game of the series.
But they had to have caught up from.
I bet the juice is going to be high now on those games.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I don't know what the opening lines are going to be for next week, but that opening day, I will have some Nerfies on my ticket, and I will let y'all know. But look into that this year. Find those like cross sport things to add together, because if you try to lock in on one sport and beat them, you're not going to beat them.
The only thing I would caution about on the opening day is sometimes those pitchers aren't revved. You know what I mean? They haven't completely revved up. So just be careful with the ones you look at on those Nerfies. So we've talked about basketball, a little bit of baseball there. Like if you like it, watch Shohei Ohtani. You'll enjoy watching that kid play baseball. What else, Paul?
You want to talk about the horses?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Before we got before we got to the horses, I didn't know if there was anything that you wanted to discuss.
No, I'm good. Like I said, I really prepared as normally, but
That's okay. I'll lead you along. I'll grab you by the hand and take you
that's
with me.
usually how it works,
Yeah.
ain't it? And I just meander, and you have to come get him over
Go
here.
find him. Go get him. We're over here.
He's over at the bar.
We also didn't do great at the horses last. What was that, Friday?
We wasn't the only ones.
No, we weren't.
That was a fun day, though, man. You go up there and get the table, and it was a good
Yeah,
time.
that was a lot of fun.
Everybody pulling from different directions, and Franklin's over there just finding which table he can make mad, and see if we can't
Stir up some
see
shit.
if we can
Yeah,
piss these guys off.
that's right. Hey, quit yelling for the team I'm against. How about quit doing that? I mean,
I think
who
you
does that?
You probably didn't even have a ticket on
I
that
didn't.
game.
I didn't. That was the Michigan State game. In that table right in front of us, they were all over the Spartans, baby.
I don't know why. I thought about that this year too. Is just go in there any 15-2 matchup, go in a money line bet to 15. Any 12-5 money line to 12. Put like $100 on all just across the board.
Yep.
And you'd be fine.
You would have gotten it this year. Woo.
But no.
Remember, I think the only thing I'll hold my hat on our bracket is I did call the Furman Paladins over the Virginia Cavaliers.
Well,
I
you
did
did.
talk you into that one. So
Yeah. We didn't. I thought we were gonna like really get into some shit. But
we should have apparently because we sucked in that bracket. Good thing we didn't bet on that thing. My God.
Well.
All right, so we've done a couple of races this year. You know, we like watching the horses, and we got two more Derby and we're really getting into the Derby prep races now because the points are getting higher. You win one of these two races, you're basically guaranteed to be in the Kentucky Derby. So we got two races this weekend. We got the Jeff Ruby Stakes that's gonna be contested at Turfway Park, and then we've got the Louisiana Derby. It's gonna be down in New Orleans at the fairgrounds. So we'll first talk about the Jeff Ruby Stakes, and the reason being is this race is run on an all-weather track, which means it's a synthetic. It's not a dirt, it's not turf, it's just a synthetic track that they put together. So it's always fast. They don't ever have a different rating for it. It's just fast, no matter what's going on. But I will tell you this is now a race that people have got to start paying attention to, Paul, because horses that have come out of the Jeff Ruby Stakes recently have done well in the Kentucky Derby.
No.
I'll give you one. You ever heard of the horse named Rich Strike?
Yeah, he went out there and struck rich.
Rich Strike finished third in the Jeff Ruby Stakes last year, and then Sonny Leon guided him to the victory at the 80-1 in the Kentucky Derby last year. So here we go. I'm going to switch it over, and I'm going to show you the horses for the Jeff Ruby Stakes. There we go. You got 12 horses running. I'm sure you won't have all 12 running come post time, but that's where we are. This is, for me, it's not easy to handicap this race, really, because I only know of like 3 or 4 of these horses. I haven't seen most of them. But on a synthetic track, you just don't know how they're going to run. A lot of horses don't take to the synthetic, and Kentucky Derby's run on dirt. So I don't know why this race has been a springboard for a couple of horses going in the Derby, but it has. So here we are. I'll start with the one just because he's the morning line favorite, Major Dude. The most interesting thing about this horse is that he's run on turf and run really well, and a lot of horses take well to the synthetic that have run on turf and done well.
Donkey odds.
But Irad could have run in the Louisiana Derby on a different horse, but he decided to come to Turfway Park to ride Major Dude, which tells me Irad thinks this horse is really good. So it's going to be hard probably to beat Major Dude, but I'll take a look at some other horses. So that's, right there, synthetic, Major Dude, 5-2, Irad Ortiz, Todd Pletcher horse. It's probably the most likely winner. But again, how likely do favorites win these races?
We're not. If you want to win money betting horses, you don't bet the favorite.
No, and I'm not giving you what I'm going to bet. I'm just telling you most likely winner is probably Major Dude.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue that. Bolt door, but I got Pletcher Ortiz Jr. combination. You can't go wrong there. I don't know a lot about this race, to be honest with you, but I do like this. I like the 15-1 in the 12 slot. I just don't know how they're gonna break.
Point proven. Well, you got a pretty good combination there with Johnny V, Todd Pletcher.
Yeah, you're 15-1 coming out. He'll probably come down to maybe 10-1, but still that's good odds. Not big on two fields. Escapeologists don't sound right.
Yeah, I'm confused with Two Fields because of his class, he should be running at the Louisiana Derby, the other Derby prep this weekend, but they decided to put him here. So I don't know if they're just if they think this is a better shot to pick up Derby points just to get him into the Derby, and maybe they're not even revving him up. They're just putting him here to get on the to get up there on the podium 1, 2, 3, get Derby points and make it into the Derby. But if you're talking about class, the most class in this race is Two Fields, and he could be ready to pop. I don't know, but they're sticking with the Loveberry in the mount there. So
who?
And I don't know him but I know he rode him in the Risen Star when he raced there at the fairgrounds. One horse, there's a lot of speed in this race. So a couple horses I'm looking at, you got Speed and Bluebirds over the 7 at 15-1. Edgar Zayas is a good jockey. I see him a lot at Gulfstream. Safi Joseph is a really good trainer.
Yeah. Zayas he's a good jockey.
And here's the thing about the Bluebirds. Oh, he has 2 synthetic surface wins. So
does that 11.
He likes the surface and he can run on it. The where my money is probably going, and just because it's a familiar jockey who did well here last year, Sonny Leon, who rode Rich Strike to the Derby win last year, is on the 8 Congruent. He is a horse out of Tappet. We know the sire Tappet, really good, really good sire.
That horse has made his money
right
12-fold.
Yeah, he has. And so this horse won the Battaglia Memorial Stakes. He has Turfway Park experience, so I like that here. And of course, you got the jockey that's run here before, who's done well here before. So if I'm looking for, and he's probably not going to get 5-1, but you may get 3-1 if you're going to beat Major Dude. I like throwing some money at Congruent at 3 or 4-1, and maybe he sticks at 5-1 just because it's a big field. I hope we don't get many scratches. But if you're looking for somebody with some odds to throw in there that's got some speed, I don't hate Bluebirds over here, the 7, especially in exotics. If you're doing a exacta, trifecta, super, I would absolutely have the 7 here.
Okay, like I said, I would value Franklin's opinion on this race more than mine. But last 2 races on synthetic at this track, Wadsworth has won.
I noticed it's 8-1,
and then the 12 with Johnny V in the saddle at 15-1. You give me Johnny V at 15-1, I don't mind losing that money.
Wadsworth is also a Brad Cox horse,
no,
so you're talking about a really good trainer.
No,
yeah.
I like the 11. I don't know why he's 8-1, but something we're gonna have to do a little digging there.
And he doesn't have the most famous. I know Landeros. I've seen him ride.
Right.
But he's not going to be one of the first 25, 30 names you think of and think a jockey is running right now. So, but Brad Cox is training him, so he must be a pretty decent horse. I don't think Cox would take a horse in his barn that he didn't think could get it done.
Either that or use him for some kind of advantage for another horse.
Well, he doesn't have another horse in the race, so
that's just no.
Yep. I think this race, nobody has more than, and there's no trainer that has, no Pletcher. Pletcher's got the 1 in the 12. And he may be using Proven Point and Johnny V to get some speed for Major Dude, and Major Dude sit and stalk and then go get it. He's probably the most likely winner, but I'm going to put my money on the 8 Congruent.
All right, I'm going to go probably 11. Maybe
Wadsworth.
12.
Well, you're getting better odds. Got a good trainer. Probably knows.
Why do I know that name Wadsworth? Is that not off a TV show or a cartoon or something?
You know, when I saw it, I thought the same thing, but I couldn't think of anything. I couldn't.
Okay.
We had a Woolsworth here in Clarksdale, a store. If that.
Don't age yourself, brother.
If that helps.
Yeah,
That's where I used to get all my wiffle ball equipment.
Yeah, you did.
All right, so we'll move to the race that I got all the information on. We'll go to the Louisiana Derby, and that's where you're going to find some horses that we saw run in the Risen Star. And you've got a horse that's most people thought was the second best horse headed to the coming up for the Derby behind Forte, and that's Instant Coffee. He draws the 2. He's a Brad Cox horse. Luis Saez is the jockey. He goes off as the 2-1 morning line favorite for the Louisiana Derby at the fairgrounds.
That's it.
I'm going to try to beat Instant Coffee, and I'm going to give you my reasoning why right out of the gate.
Okay.
There's not a lot of speed, upfront speed in this race. Most of these horses are stalkers or closers. That doesn't set up well for any of those horses if there's no big-time pace setters. Does that make sense? Because I know a lot of people are like, well, if they can close hard, if the pace is slow, can't they close better? No, because if you get a slow pace up front, those horses that are up front have saved energy.
Yeah.
And so when you come down the second turn, now they kick it in even more, and they've got plenty of horse left to go gate to wire or to sit second and finish strong. Like last year at the Kentucky Derby, the upfront pace was super fast. So all of those horses up front started to tire, and here comes Rich Strike, who closed like a freaking freight train. I don't know if I've ever seen a horse close that hard. I mean, especially in that big a field.
Not since I saw Josh Jantz close on a Saturday night.
Well, we've seen that before too. So if y'all are wondering when we talk about close and why you need upfront speed for closers, is because they need the speed, they need the front pace to get hot so that those horses tire out quicker so that they can then close. So closers like a fast pace up front, and they're just not the horses here to do it.
Now, you got to have a stomach to bet closers because it's not pretty up to about the last, furlong. But when they start coming and they're
Here they
going,
come.
yes, it's fun.
What was it? The Rebel when my boy Red Route 1 came in strong late and got the second place finish.
I don't know enough about Instant Coffee here. I do know that the talking heads and the internet says he's supposed to be one of the top 2 or 3 horses leading up to the Kentucky Derby. I like King's Barn.
Yeah.
And that's probably where I might just do a win place show on King's Barn. I don't really have any other feeling about any of the horse in this race. I mean, if you go bet Instant Coffee, you're just asking for Curly Jack not getting my money.
No, because he did not. He was 8th in the Risen Star. I just don't think he's moving forward.
There's something about him that they like, and I can't. He just doesn't perform. I don't know. Maybe he needs Lasix or.
And again, it's a Tom Amos horse, so I'm not betting him. I've never had luck with a Tom Amos horse, so I'm staying off Curly Jack in the 3. Yeah.
No, I don't like Curly Jack. That's where I'm going to go with King's Barn.
Yeah, that horse is 2 for 2 and can continue to improve. Pletcher is great with shipping horses in and winning. I like the style. He's probably not going to he's not a complete closer, so I like that better. He's going to stalk the pace, which means he's going to sit 2, 3, 4. He's going to sit in that range somewhere. And that's what's crazy is that you've got a stalker that's going to be maybe in the 2 hole. That tells you there's not a lot of speed. The only other speed in this horse, and is probably where I'm going to take my money to, is and it's a long shot, is the 11 Jace's Road. You got Florent Giroux.
I don't hate it.
It's one of the 3 Brad Cox horses, and he may only be putting this horse in the race to speed it up for maybe Tappett's Conquest, his other horse, or Instant Coffee, who's a closer.
Yeah, but sometimes it doesn't
work.
It
Yeah,
doesn't work.
So I think he may be putting Jace's Road in to get a hot pace for Instant Coffee to run into. But if he gets out there and no horse challenges him, like if King's Barnes just decides to sit off the pace and he can slow it down, and Giroux is a good enough jockey to know what to do. He can feel if anybody's pressing him. He can sit slow and then just take that thing gate to wire. And if I'm starting at 12-1, you don't know which way those odds are going to go. And he ran and I'm not using buyer speed, just an equal base speed, a 101, which is the high speed in here outside of Kings Barnes, who ran an EQ 100 before. The other horse I think that may have a chance to take a step forward is the other Brad Cox horse, which because I love Manny Franco. I like the way he rides. He jumps aboard here, Tappett's Conquest, who was fourth in the Risen Star. Here's the problem with this horse. He's either gonna it's his mind. Like, sometimes people just they just can't get things going. The horses are the same way. They just, I don't feel it today. Tappett's Conquest came down the stretch and looked like he was going to win the Risen Star, and then he was just like, I think I'm done. And Angel Empire, flew right by him and got through. Yeah, he did. So his speed dipped a little bit in that race, and I think that's more mental than anything. So if there's another horse he's 10-1 morning line. I like Jace's Road. I like Tappett's Conquest. I'm throwing out Curly Jack.
Me too. But congratulations, Curly Jack.
I don't like either of the two Steve Asmussen horses, the 5 or the 1.
The only thing that would make me bet Curly Jack here if I saw Bob Baffert beside his name. I'd be like, oh shit.
And so you've completely looked over Sun Thunder, who finished second to Angel of Empire. Yeah, I mean, he did.
I ain't overlooking.
But again, he's a closer. His EQ 94 he ran that 94 when he finished second to Angel of Empire at the fairgrounds at the same track. So I mean, yeah, he's back at the fairgrounds, a track he likes. He ran a pretty decent speed. I just don't know the odds are going to be good enough here for me to bet, because at 5-1, he's probably going to dip down to 3-1 when you look that he's ran on this track before. So your top 3 horses probably when it comes to betting are going to be Instant Coffee, obviously. He probably will stick at 2-1, 9-5, 7-5. King's Barnes is going to come down to probably 3-1, something like that. And Sun Thunder will probably sit in the same spot, simply due to his race in the Risen Star. I could tell you a lot about some of these other horses. I like the fact that the 1 and the 10 are grays. I mean, some people think Dennington he's ready to go forward. Shopper's Revenge, he's got the 1, so he's the 1. He's the 1 horse, so he's in gate 1. They may send him early since he's at the rail to see if he can get the lead, and see what happens. I don't know. He has Stamina's pedigree, but I don't know. I mean, he's 12-1 morning line. I love the jockey. I like Santana Jr. But my money's probably gonna go a long shot here. Probably gonna go with Jace's Road, just because I don't think they're gonna have to set a high speed up front, because all these other horses, all of them, want to close, which means they're not going to press the pace.
Well, I'm with you.
But then it could end up like the last race we did when Forte went out there and won it by 5 lengths and he just cruised to victory. I mean, Instant Coffee could do that, but I don't think he does. He's not Forte. Is he the best horse here? Maybe, and he should be. Pedigree and what he's done.
He's in the top 3 or 5 for sure. Get leading up to, doesn't mean he's going to do
to
anything.
The Derby. Yeah. So yeah, if you're trying to get a price, I don't think King's Barnes are bad value. So with Paul being there, I wouldn't hate throwing in a trifecta here with take Jace's Road, Tappett's Conquest, Instant Coffee, and King's Barnes, because you get 2 prices and you get 2 horses that are probably going to be there at the end. And that with 4 horses, you box a trifecta there. Is that
$2.80, 10-cent superfecta? I don't know.
Or a 10-cent super, yeah. You can do it a 50-cent trifecta at the Gold Strike. So 4 horses, I think, would cost you $12.
Yeah.
I think something like that. Maybe a little more, but that's not bad because you got 2 prices in there. So yeah, I'm gonna take a shot on a long shot there. Jace's Road, Flaunt Giroux, Brad Cox sit there in the 11 hole. They just got to have a good jump. That's the thing. But no speed here. He's got the speed, comes out early. Hopefully he can hold. I know there's another Derby prep race overseas, but I didn't take a look at it, Paul. I'm just been focusing on the American races. You don't get too many overseas horses that come and do well at Kentucky Derby anyway. So did not have my focus there. So what else?
I don't know. We got Baseball starting back. We've got the Lady Rebels playing tonight with the March Madness and the women. The college baseball's getting into the league play. They're trying to figure out who's going to do what, which really don't matter. They get to Omaha anyway.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot here. The golf is dull this week with the match play. I don't care about watching that.
I watched some of that the other night. It's okay.
When
Match play's okay.
Ricky Hatton beat John Rahm the other day, plus
Ricky Fowler.
what'd I say?
Ricky Hatton.
That's the boxer.
Yeah, that's not the. You had your Rickies, and you had Fowler and Terrell Hatton still on your mind there.
Yeah, I need tequila.
Well, maybe we'll go find some. So,
You know a guy?
yeah. Well, I know a guy. I know a place. Anyway, look, thanks for joining us. I hope you maybe get some tips. We'll try to get this out before Alabama and San Diego State gets tipped off tonight. And of course, the other games: Miami, Houston, Princeton, Creighton, and Xavier, Texas. And if you dabble in the horses, look, take a look at the Jeff Ruby Stakes and the Louisiana Derby, those Derby prep races. And if anything, watch the horses. And if you see them get in the Derby, you'll kind of know how they run, what their style is, if they got anything to them. Because we'll definitely do a big show in the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, those
when
are
we
fun.
get for
That Derby day's a fun day. Get your friends together. Let the ladies dress up a little bit. Make you a fancy drink, and just have a day.
And the
with
best part about it is you can get you a poster board like we do. Put all the horses out there. Have somebody that's got some crafty talent, and get you some markers and make you a board with the horses, and everybody pick one. It's a lot of fun. That's what we do. So we make the ladies pick horses. They get into it. It gets them hanging around the pool. Of course, we'll hopefully be around the pool. We got to get there, Paul. I mean, literally, it's in our name.
We have not been poolside betting.
We have not been doing it.
Yeah, we'll get there though.
We will.
The weather's janky around. It's bipolar as shit around here.
It's getting better though. Golfing season's right around the corner. I'm actually going to be in a golf tournament tomorrow, so I can't wait.
We'll be staring the Masters down pretty soon.
Yes, we will. So we'll probably do a show on the Masters as well. So anyway, a lot to look forward to. I know it's getting warm. The weather is the best thing. We got spring coming in. So anyway, thanks for joining us on Cash and Tickets. Hope you have good luck on the basketball, and if you dabble in the horses, you don't have to listen to us. But we gave you our thoughts there on the Jeff Ruby and Louisiana Derby. So until next time, this is our episode of Cash and Tickets, and we'll catch you next week.
Bye.